Okay. Okay, you're my sister, and I love you because we have shared so many things, although you always...
That's another but.
I don't like this game. Let's go back to the listening deal.
Number 2, Carol Burnett.
You'll be stalled in that Captain Butler's carriage now?
Oh, Lord, what am I gonna do?
Well, I've got an idea. When he comes in, why don't you hide behind the drapes?
What brings you to Terra?
You vixen, you. Starlet, I love you. That gown is gorgeous.
Thank you. I saw it in the window and I just couldn't resist it.
And the funniest woman in the TV Guide Reader's poll is Lucille Ball.
We can't stash away 5 dozen eggs.
Well, we can give it a try. Here, open them up.
What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to put some in my blouse.
Yeah, this... Oh!
Lucy! Hi.
Why, I thought you were in New York.
Well, I decided to take the letter train because I want to rehearse our number.
Rehearse?
Lucy can make anyone laugh, but what makes a teenage girl swoon? Writers and producers can only do so much to create a teen idol. Ultimately, it's in the swivel of a hip, a sidelong glance, or just that certain something that captures young hearts.
Hey, Mom?
Yes, dear?
What's your honest opinion of rock and roll?
I guess it's a musical expression of the modern teenager's enthusiasm or something. I'm not going to knock it, I'll tell you that much.
I think teenagers like to feel that they're just people with normal, average reactions.
Oh, I agree with that. In fact, it leads right into your song. Here, I'll give you a downbeat.
Ricky Nelson was television's first teen idol, a young man with nice manners, a pleasant voice, and great hair. A crush on Dr. Kildare was often diagnosed as terminal. Kooky, kooky, lend me your comb. Even the boys of Happy Days knew the meaning of a good hair day. The 50s retro show also produced a hot new heartthrob, the Too Cool to Comb Fonzie.
Hey, Laverne. The Fonz. Hey, how's it going? Hey, listen, is Shirley there? Yeah, put her on. Hey, Shirley, I want you to talk to a friend of mine here. Hi. That's enough. It sounds great, huh? Yeah. Listen, Arnold's tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Be there. Whoa.
David Cassidy and company were inspired by the Beatles and the Monkees. In the 60s and 70s, TV produced its own version of scream-inducing mop-top rockers.
Hey, what's with the maniac knife thrower?
He's upset because the crowd would rather watch the rock and rollers than him.
Oh, that's scandalous.
By the way, what do you do?
Brain surgeons.
Today's teen idols tackle mature subjects with style, good manners, and really great hair.
Wants a girl who's dreamy, Brandon. Wants a girl who's creamy, Brandon. Wants a girl to call his own.
boogers. Oh, come on, be you. A heartthrob.
'Cause Brandon wants to find a girl to call his own.
Where were those guys when I was in school? Well, back to business here. What I watch is one of TV Guide's most popular features. Now that's where celebs tell us what they watch when no one's watching them.
I watched The Honeymooners, I watched The Untouchables, and I especially remember those two shows, not just because I liked them, but because my father liked them very much. And they were shows that we enjoyed equally. And I still think The Honeymooners is the single funniest show of its kind.
I watched Bonanza, something called Emergency Ward 10, which was an English hospital show. Dr. Kildare was a definite favorite.
There were puppet shows and Kukla Fran and Ollie and John Cameron Swayze on the news, and there was some outer space thing, I've forgotten the name of it.
Every Monday night we'd gather around the set and watch the Lucy show and my father's show, and we were really raised in that whole comedy appreciation, tradition.
In Living Color I think that's hilarious. That's terrific. Terrific character work.
I like Murphy Brown. I like NYPD Blue very much. I loved Cheers.
I like Northern Exposure. I like Murphy Brown. I like Dream On. I like the Gary Shandling show.
Perry Mason. I was a huge Twilight Zone fan. And I actually like The Fugitive.
I watched shows that really spoke to me as an African-American, growing up in Detroit, Michigan, H.R. Puffin stuff, and of course, the Banana Splits.
In a moment, Mary Tyler Moore, Candace Bergen, and Tom Selleck.
Have a joyous holiday season from Fox 19.
That girl, played by Marlo Thomas, was one of the first women in television to choose a career over marriage.
Well, the fact that she didn't have much of a career is beside the point. However, she did lead the way for a whole parade of independent thinking women.
Before then, women on television were often stereotyped as passive, helpless, and chronically cheerful. But looking back, there was often a little bite behind the sweet smile.
Oh, well, now it isn't as if I'm going off to war. It's just an overnight camping trip. What could possibly happen to me?
Well, you could fall off a cliff and break your neck. You could fall in the lake and drown. There's poison ivy, snake bite, forest
Tornadoes,
fires.
hurricanes, elephant
Honey,
stampedes.
you wheeled a wonderful dust cloth. You set a fine table.
Just what is this myth that says only a man can withstand the rigors of the great outdoors?
It's no myth that there's a male world and a female world. We have a nice non-aggression pact. Let's keep it that way.
If it's all right with Jeff, I'm going to take the boys on the camping trip. If it's all right with you.
We were doing the story of a young girl who wanted to make it. It's an age-old story, and it was done with a girl, and she didn't want to get married, and her father was nagging her to marry. That's what made it so modern, and so absolutely of the moment. And also saying, I don't want to get married till I find out who I am. In the late 60s, nobody was saying that.
My article on women's lib is missing.
Oh, well, you're looking in the wrong place.
I'm looking in the magazine.
Well, you won't find it in there.
I know I won't find it in... It's in my sandwich. You put the article in my sandwich.
Well, it's just my little way of saying I'd like you to eat your words. Although I will grant you they are a bit hard to swallow.
This article really bothered you. Honey, I told you I wrote this article about a fictional girl.
Oh, Donald, really? Just because you called her Arlene Morgan doesn't fool me a bit. You didn't even bother to change the initials.
I'm telling you, it's just a coincidence. I wrote this article about a girl who believed in women's liberation and freedom for women and independence. Now, you're certainly not that girl. Are you that girl?
Mary Tyler Moore was an inspiration to millions of career women.
Tell you what, I'll try you out for a couple of weeks, see if it works out. If I don't like you, I'll fire you.
Right.
You don't like me? I'll fire you.
That certainly seems fair. What's the job?
The job is that of associate producer.